What is up, guys? Welcome back to Legit Street Cars. My name is Alex, and this is build part 5 of my 2003 Mercedes-Benz E55 AMG. And I'm so excited to bring you guys this build video because this is gonna be the last build video before I finally get rid of this piece of crap car. Totally just kidding. Not getting rid of my E55. I absolutely love it with all of its SBC electronic brake and airmatic suspension goodness. But we will be making this car slightly faster in today's video, and it will be the last build video before we go hit up the dyno for an actual dyno tune, and then we go to the quarter-mile drag strip to see if I can accomplish my goal from last year of a mid to low 11-second quarter-mile run. So let's go over to the table of high performance, and I will show you all what we'll be doing in today's video. Welcome back to the table of high performance. Let's start off over here. Now, this is an item, you gotta wait till the end of the video to see what this is. I'm gonna do kind of like an unboxing, but this is something that literally hundreds of people have commented in my videos and said that I need to get. So stay tuned for this. It is from China, so you know it's gonna be a very high quality part that's meant to go on a Mercedes-Benz, and it's from Dongqing Mao something, I don't know. That is either the name of the person or the company, not really sure. But moving on, this is what we're actually doing in today's video. This is a secondary heat exchanger from VRP. And if you guys have seen my other build videos, you know that I have a larger primary heat exchanger from VRP. And with these cars, with the intercooler sandwiched in between the supercharger and the engine, you could use as much heat exchanging as humanly possible. So I'll be adding a second one, and this sits right in front of the AC condenser, which I'll show you in a minute. And I'm hoping that it'll use a little bit of the engine fan in the staging lanes to kind of cool down the coolant slash water that's going to be going to the intercooler and keep those intake air temperatures down. But we'll go over that in a second. This is just some 3/4 heater hose, a little fitting that I may or may not need. I'm going to be putting a new thermostat in the car just for maintenance reasons. I don't know if it's ever been done. And then this is a brand new radiator for the car, which I'll show you why I'm doing this in a minute. And then check this out. This is the blower motor out of my old C43, totally locked up and just nasty. But I had an awesome subscriber send me a good used part, which is fantastic. You guys are awesome. So I have heat back in my C43. And then check these out, 97 cents at AutoZone on clearance. I didn't even really know what this was when I bought it, but it was 97 cents. But it looks like it's some kind of water wetter. So that might be going in the E55. This stuff probably going in my lawnmower. And then this is my cold brew coffee that I make every single morning. All right, guys, let me show you what I'm working with. We're going to be installing what looks to be a Honda Civic radiator, but my secondary heat exchanger in this area right here. And you'll notice, and you probably know this from my other videos, that I have an external transmission oil cooler mounted right here, and both of these will not fit, so this has to go, and that's where that brand new radiator comes into play from the factory. These cars route the transmission fluid through the internal transmission cooler that's built into the radiator. And I know a lot of you hot rodders out there are saying, Alex, this is a better method, cools better. A lot of people do this in the aftermarket for performance reasons, and I completely understand. I have one of these on my Trans Am. It works great, and so does this one. But in this particular case, with this particular car, they've been around for a long time, and they've proven themselves to not necessarily need an external transcooler for what I'll be using the car for, which is basically just a really fast daily driver and then some quarter-mile runs that I'll be filming and stuff like that. So not a lot of abuse. If you guys are auto-crossing a car like this, which you probably aren't, you might consider this external transcooler. And if you suspect that your radiator might be leaking the transmission fluid and the coolant might be mixing, which was an issue on the early cars, then this is something that you can do. That's actually why the previous owner did it. But in my case, I'd rather have the lower intake air temps, and I'm hoping that the engine coolant fan sucking through this thing will lower my intake air temps, primarily in the staging lanes at the drag strip, where the intake air temps would rise right before my run and severely impact performance. With the main heat exchanger located down below, it doesn't get any airflow when you're just idling around. So I hope this will help. I need to take the bumper off to do this job, and you guys have already seen me do that. I'm gonna rip the bumper off, and then we'll take an up close look at exactly what we gotta do to get this thing mounted, because I've never done one, so I have no idea how to do this. Bumper is off, and I'm just trying to do one performance modification to my car before it hits the road again. It's almost spring, and of course, in typical old car fashion, I found 2 issues with the car. One of them is pretty minor, but the other one is not, depending on who you ask. So let me show you the 2 issues I found in my car by basically just removing the front bumper. First off, we have this hose right here. So you can see it's totally split. Now this isn't a big deal. I think this is just the fresh air intake for the aromatic pump. But I have been getting an aromatic message on my dash, and the code comes up for like a slow filling of the pump, and you can see some corrosion here. So I think this pump is on its way out. So not a huge deal. You guys have probably all done your aromatic pump. But let's take a look underneath the car. And honestly, guys, this is something I've kind of been in denial about for a while, but I believe my rear main seal is leaking. You can kind of see some oil here and here and here, and it's just all kind of generally in the bottom right here by the transmission. So the transmission has to come out of the car. Taking the transmission out of an E55 is not that hard at all, especially if you have a lift. It maybe takes about like 3 hours to get it out. Do the rear main for like an hour, clean it up really nice, and then throw the trans back in. So not a big deal if you have a lift. The dealer would probably charge like $1,400 for this, and the parts are only like $40, $50. So not a huge deal at the end of the day. It's probably the original seal. Let's get up front and I'll show you guys exactly what I think we have to do to mount up that secondary heat exchanger. This looks pretty straightforward. I think I just have to remove this bracket right here. And do any of you guys out there have Distronic that fits right here? I really wanted that feature, but I could not find a car with Distronic. Anyway, I think I just have to remove this bracket, and then obviously I got to remove the external transcooler, and then I did get new lines. These are the transcooler lines from the transmission all the way to the radiator, because the guy that put the external cooler on, what he did was he cut the lines and ran hose, and as you can see right in here, he put like a little fitting to block off the radiator. So those are used transmission cooler lines that VRP got me off of a parts car. So I will be installing those. So let's get this bracket off, let's get this transcooler off, and let's mock up that secondary heat exchanger and see what it looks like. All right, guys, the heat exchanger is all mocked up. Let me show you a couple things that I learned along the way that might help you out if you guys end up doing a secondary heat exchanger on your E55. First things first, you're gonna be ditching this part. So weight savings, this is that bracket that used to sit right here. You're gonna get rid of that altogether, and all you're using is this part here where the hood latches onto. Also, I realized that I don't think the horn is gonna sit where it used to, so I'll have to relocate that probably. But this is it. Pretty much this is how it goes. I had to bend up this tab a little bit so it sat at a really nice angle with the hood latch piece. Let's make some markings. We're going to drill and tap, and you're gonna want to make sure the hood closes before you do this, before you permanently mount it, which is what I did before. All right, let's get going. All right, guys, check it out. Secondary heat exchanger is all mounted up. Looks awesome, rock solid, not going anywhere. Let's see how it looks with the hood shut. Yeah, you can see it a little bit if you get down in there. You can definitely see how clean my car is though, that's for sure. All right, guys, I'm gonna try and make the hose routing as simple as humanly possible, and down below, you will see linked 2 diagrams, one for when I did this one originally, and then I'll update it to include the secondary heat exchanger. And check this out. Yeah, I am a horrible artist, but you guys will be able to figure it out from there. But basically, this is a really simple system. We have the hot water is going through this hose right here, and it's gonna go through the heat exchanger, and then it's gonna come out the bottom and back to that tank right over there. So all we're doing, since we're adding this heat exchanger in, is we're going to instead take the hot water and run it through this port first. So this hose is gonna be moved right here, and then it's gonna come out right there, that port there. We're gonna add a new hose, and that's gonna be routed behind here somewhere, and it's gonna end up going right back to this top port. So hot water is going through there first, then through there, then through this hose, back to there. Not gonna work. Finished product time, guys. I got the hoses ran. Everything is perfect. I did have to replace this hose. It was off by like an inch, and that one comes off of the top line from the intercooler. And then on the other side of the secondary heat exchanger, we have this hose here, and it gets routed right behind the other heat exchanger down below. It's not fully secured yet. And then over to the top port, like I said, on the main heat exchanger. And you can use like a 90-degree if you want to splice that in right in here, but I thought that this was a nice bend and didn't require that. So obviously I still have to do the radiator, so I'll be taking this all apart. That's why it doesn't have all the clamps on it. The only other thing I'm going to be doing for this project, since the system is completely drained anyway, is I'm going to take out all these plastic fittings, these two here, and the two on the tank under the hood. And I'm going to be using this product called E6000. It's like a flexible sealant for basically everything. I've used this on the methanol injection kit. I've used it to fix stuff in my house like a sink, and it is awesome. It's chemical resistant against basically everything, and it works really, really well. So check out the link down below for this E6000 stuff. It is fantastic. All right, guys, we're done with the secondary heat exchanger. The next time you guys see this car will hopefully be on the dyno, or pictures of me working on the oil leak on my Instagram at Legit Street Cars, so check that out. So for now, let's check out what Dong Chen Mei Ju Shishi something sent me. And this is something that you guys have been asking for a long time, so put your guess down below before I get this thing open. And some of you guys are gonna be very, very happy. Like literally hundreds of people have commented, Alex, you have to... Hang on. All right, they're headlamp lenses. Okay. Wow, they do a pretty good job of packaging. Bam! Check it out, guys. I got new headlamp lenses for the E55. No more of this yellow crap. I don't even know which side this is, but yeah, here we go. So yeah, that's it. That's what came from China. These things were only like 50 or 60 bucks. If I can still find the link, I'll leave it down below. I don't even remember which one I ordered them from, but I think they're all the same. They're just from China. They take like a month to get in, and you do have to like heat up the entire headlamp assembly to kind of get the glue to release these old lenses, and then you can install those. I don't know. We're going to be finding out how hard that is, and I'll probably do like a vlog write-up on that. But anyway, that will do it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one, and if you did, please give it a big thumbs up. That really helps me. If you're new to the channel and you love AMG stuff, please subscribe to my channel. I think you'll really like the content here. And to all my current subscribers, thank you so much for watching, and I will see everybody in the next video.